So we all have our aha moment, okay? Mine came to me a couple of years ago. I was in the shower when I found it. A bump I didn't see before or feel before. As a board-certified dermatologist, I knew immediately what it was. But like many of you, I didn't want to come to terms with it. Maybe it's a bug bite, or maybe even a tick. I did walk outside after all, and it could have been a tick, as if that would be a better thing. A giant insect slowly burrowing into my skin. But that actually gave me comfort, because what it was actually a skin cancer. I know, find it hard to believe as well. And most people will say that. They'll say, well, wait a minute, how did you have a skin cancer? You're a dermatologist. Aren't you supposed to know better? You know, it was shocking for me too. But you see, even though we dermatologists can sometimes look like superheroes, you know, with flawless, wrinkle-free skin, we are human too. And like many of you sitting out there listening to this talk, we weren't always dermatologists. And many of us, myself included, grew up at a time when skincare wasn't a thing. You see, I was a child in the 70s, a teenager in the 80s, and we took our skin for granted, okay? SPF was not a thing. My parents would say, hey, go outside, play out in the sun all day. And I did. And I'd come home with sunburns, sometimes blistering. My parents would say, hey, it's just skin, dude, relax, it'll heal. That's what we all thought. SPF was not a thing. And now, many years, in my case, many decades later, it eventually caught up to us. You see, the skin always remembers. It's like an elephant. It always remembers what you did. And the problem is, we do our very best to hide all that damage, and we've gotten very good at it. But it stays below the surface, just waiting. And this is what I want you to focus on. Changing your view and approach to skin, not just at the surface, but going deeper below the surface and finding out what treatments we can do that not only enhance our beauty, but make us better, holistically, health-wise. We can't go back in time, but what we can do is start treating our skin more than just a superficial shell, or starting to think that those who use skincare or treat their skin are superficial or vain in and of themselves. Our skin is actually so much more than just a superficial covering or protective shield for our inner important organs. It is actually a true organ in its own right. And the latest research is finding that it can actually communicate both back and forth with the other organs. There's cells from the endocrine, circulatory, inflammatory, neural systems. So even though it might not look like it, our skin is constantly communicating back and forth. And the latest research is actually showing that when our skin cells are unhealthy, it can start sending signals to the rest of our body and actually affect our other organs. We'll get to that a little bit later in the talk. So what can we do? How do we right now start taking and treating our skin as true healthcare? Well, it's actually simpler than you might think. There's 3 very simple things that we can do right now to start back taking our skin care. Number 1, let's not add to more damage. Okay? SPF 30 or higher every day, no exceptions. Let's think about it. How many people brushed their teeth last night? We all brush our teeth, you know? Every day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes more. Would we brush our teeth only if we knew somebody was going to maybe plant a big kiss on us? No, we brush those pearly whites every day. And we should do the same with sunscreen. And for those of you taking notes, no, I don't mean brush your teeth with sunscreen. I mean use it on your skin every day, no exceptions. I promise you, for every excuse you have for not using it, there is a sunscreen made right for you. Number 2, be proactive. Listen to your skin. It's trying to communicate. We're not looking just for skin cancers. We're looking for any change, because that could be a signal that something's going on. So take a partner, make sure you check yourself out, and find those also fun hidden zones, like your scalp and back, I mean. And number 3, especially for those of you like me that have had lots of sun damage over the years, take steps to actually fully reverse it. Groundbreaking research is actually showing that there's more to it than that, okay? We're finding for the first time that we can actually reverse the damage below the skin and truly heal our skin from the bottom to the top. In fact, the Journal of Clinical Investigation is in 2021 showing that for the first time we can truly reverse the damage and get rid of senescent zombie cells. Zombie cells, you might say? Absolutely. The recent research, or in what we call scientific terms, has found that there's these senescent-like cells that behave just like zombies. They're sending out toxic signals, infecting other cells around them, and making our whole system unhealthy. Senescent skin cells have actually been now linked with, in humans, with heart disease, liver damage, dementia, and even depression. And the groundbreaking research, just in its infancy, is showing that once we get rid of those zombies, we can make our whole system better. Which makes sense, doesn't it? What if somebody a few feet away from you turned into a zombie? And then another. You wouldn't really want to listen to what I'm saying. You would want to hide, get out of this room, maybe even get out of the city. And thanks to the technological research, we're starting to uncover ways to do just that. It gets a little bit more complicated than that, but that's the general idea. I found myself lucky. I had a skin cancer. It was easy. I got to treat it. It's done. The problem is over. But what it did for me is made me also realize, as a dermatologist, that we need to do more. We don't want to just treat our skin superficially. We need to investigate ways that we can go beyond the skin, deeper, so that we can keep our whole system healthy. So, here's my challenge to you. Do the same. Start treating your skin like a vital organ that it is. Not today, not tomorrow, not at your next vacation, not when that bump you start wishing was a tick burrowing into your skin. Right now. Our skin is an interconnected organ calling out for our help. It's not just there protecting us. It's always looking out for us. Let's start looking out for it. Thank you.